Hey gang, it's JC, and this is your Daily Dose for Wednesday, June 30th, 2010. A cooperative venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. We have Dave Murray's weather forecast for you every day. Right here on the home page, you have archives at the top of the page. And don't forget, you can subscribe to the audio of the Daily Dose. Just go hit the iTunes icon right there. Somebody about 9 months ago thought it would be a good idea to give old JC a 15-month paid vacation, and that's why we are twisting by the pool here again. March of next year is when I think I'll be available to go back on the radio again. You never know. Let's see what happens. All right, let me explain what happened yesterday. First of all, there was no Daily Dose. Monday night in the Men's Senior Baseball League, I'm pitcher in that league, and we got knocked around a little bit in the first inning. I gave up 7 runs, many of them unearned, but I just wasn't on my game and really got knocked around. I was coming off probably my best performance in 3 years a week ago, and then you go out there Monday night and they're just hitting everything. So kudos to the 52 White Sox. They were really hitting the ball hard. So, but I managed to come back there in the second inning, and then we pretty much held them pretty well for a long time. Long story made short, if that's possible at this point, it's the 6th inning. I get a base hit. I'm on first base, and now there's a ground ball, double play. I go to break up the double play, and I slide, but the last thrust of my right leg right before I slid, I felt the hamstring go, and man, did it go. I've only had hamstring troubles one other time in my playing career, and that was about 6 years ago, but this was something completely different. This is a lot worse. So I'll be seeing Dr. Gallicados tomorrow. We're going to find out just exactly what's in store for me athletically for about the next 6 months. So I was on a lot of painkiller and stuff like that yesterday, so no Daily Dose, but here we are again today, and a lot of our news, by the way, today has to do with sports, and let's call this one the Manufactured Controversy of the Year so far. In an article in the Post-Dispatch today by Brian Burwell, he says what I've been saying for years, and that is the Stan Musial statue doesn't look like anything like Stan Musial. It's a piece of junk, and it ought to be torn down and put up something that looks like Stan. Especially while there's this big drive going on to get him presidential approval and a seal and a monument and whatever else they're asking for Stan Musial. All great ideas, by the way, but the Musial statue stinks. It's all out of proportion. The bat's too big. The hands don't look right. There's even a story going around that this guy, this artist, wasn't exactly a whiz kid and originally cast this as a right-handed hitter. You even know that. Even Bob Bragg, the great Bob Bragg, said it was a piece of junk, didn't look like Stan Musial, and Stan Musial has said he doesn't like the Musial statue. But there's a lot of people trying to take Burwell's head off because they don't like Burwell. Why? Because they're conservatives. And the conservatives hate Burwell because he got his tit caught in a ringer about a year ago when he did a story about Rush Limbaugh and quoted a phony source and everything like that. You'd think people would be more concerned about all of the lies that Rush Limbaugh has told for the last 25 years in syndicated radio to like 30 million people a day. But no, you're not concerned about the lies that Rush Limbaugh tells. You're just having one story that a sports writer for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch did where he messed up, and you're trying to make it define his career. So anyhow, but this is, and I'm not one of these people who thinks that art has to completely and totally replicate right down to the last eyelash what the guy looks like. It's open for interpretation. If you want to do that, I totally understand that. But when you look at the statue, tell me, if there wasn't his name on it and you didn't know it was Stan Musial, come on, would you have ever guessed that that was Stan Musial? Hell no, nobody would. So we're going to put something up that looks like him. But to attack Burwell right now, it's just the in thing to do. So anyhow, I've been saying this for years, though, but it's a big manufactured controversy. People need something to get all excited about. Now, another sports story has to do with Tony La Russa. Now, people go to a baseball game generally and follow baseball to get away from their troubles, get away from their cares and things that bug them and their financial problems and their problems with their wives and husbands or their kids or politics or whatever the case may be. That's why it's a bad idea to have happen what happened last night, and that is for a bunch of Tea Party idiots to show up at the ball game. Because why? Because Arizona's in town. And why are they excited about Arizona? Because they just love the controversial Arizona immigration law. And so let's go down there and Tea Party everybody to death and show our support. So they grabbed Tony La Russa before the game, and Tony says, oh yeah, I agree with the Arizona law. Yeah. Tony agrees with it. Well, we already know he's a homophobe. We know that because of an interview I did at spring training, I guess it was 3 or 4 years ago. His wife, Elaine, made him go to the movie Brokeback Mountain, and Tony tried to leave the theater every time there was a homosexual scene, and his wife made him sit through it, and Tony was still upset about it. So look, Tony is a great baseball man. Some people don't even think he's that. There's still a lot of people arguing, but he's got longevity, and when you're dealing with capricious millionaire or billionaire owners, and you hold on to your job or jobs for that long, you got to hand it to him. But I will predict this, Tony, you will regret having come out in support of the Tea Party and the Arizona law. It will come back to haunt you. Speaking of which, I usually don't plug JC's Eye Candy until the end of the segment, but today it dovetails with what we're talking about. The Tea Partiers last night at the ballpark. So look at the picture. It's right below what you're looking at right now. Look at JC's Eye Candy. Look at the Tea Party guy. Look at his sign. And then I'll take questions about the intellectual capacity of the Tea Partiers, okay? Just look at the picture and then let me know if you have any problems with it, okay? Great. Another sports story, Carrie Prejean. Carrie Prejean, what are you talking about? The Miss USA pageant winner there from a couple of years ago, 2009, who got her tit caught in a ringer because she was against gay marriage, and then people started taking off after her, and they started digging up her past, and she had these topless pictures, and then she said, "Oh, that's okay, it's in the Bible, you can do that." She was on Fox News, and then she was going to sue somebody, and then they said there was a sex tape. She said there was no sex tape, and then they brought her mother and her into a legal office, and they showed her the sex tape that she denied the existence of, and it turned out, by the way, it was a solo sex tape. It was just her. It's an interesting girl here. Well, she and former Rams quarterback Kyle Bowler are getting married on Friday, but when you're at your bachelor party and your fiance shows up on the porno tapes, you know you got yourself an interesting girl. All right, speaking of porn, here we go, and you're going to say, wait a minute, that's tennis. Well, sort of. Jennifer Capriati, we did the story the other day about how messed up her life is. She was like 13 years old when she turned pro, and she's playing in Wimbledon, and then her life just went down the chutes, and she had all sorts of trouble with the law and drugs and alcohol and depression and all sorts of problems. So she had an accidental overdose over the weekend, and now we know why. It was a combination of Wimbledon and porn. That's right, a combination of Wimbledon and porn. Apparently when she watches Wimbledon, and that's on now, she gets all depressed because she remembers where her tennis career once was. The porn part is a little more complicated. It turns out that her ex-boyfriend is Dale DeBone. Dale DeBone. Dale DeBone, porn star, and then he got out of the business for a couple of years, but then they came along and they said, we got you a starring role in the Batman parody. And by the way, if you go to like the adult websites like Vivid.com, you can see this trailer. It's hilarious, and it is so true to the production values and the authenticity of the 1960s TV show. It's unbelievable. This thing's going to be a huge hit. Well, he's in it, and she apparently got depressed about that. So the combination of the Wimbledon stuff and the porn to send her into oblivion, and that's why she had an accidental overdose over the weekend. You can't write this stuff, folks. All right, JC's Video Village today. We're going back to September of 1988. Our 10 o'clock live shot we did at Channel 4 during the Planet Hollywood grand opening. There were like 40,000 people at this thing, and that's not my estimate. That was the police estimate. That's in the story, September of 98. JC's Wayback Machine, also 1998, and a Channel 4 News promo that was really, really good. I don't know why they have to do such schmaltzy, hokey stuff right now. They were capable of doing good stuff. Not necessarily the news is up there too. Check it out too. Tomorrow, 10 things you should always buy used. And we'll get to some other stuff too. In the meantime, that's it. That's your Daily Dose for Wednesday, June 30th, 2010. A cooperative venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. Tell your friends that we're here every day at jc'ontheline.com. And in the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.